What is up, my beautiful little biscuits, and welcome to Dead Cells. I am doing post commentary on this run because for some reason audio kept being fucked up every episode I did and I couldn't figure out what it was. So I've been restarting it. This time I can't just do a new run because something special happens in this run that I want to make sure everyone gets to see. So I'm going to be just kind of explaining the game as it goes on, because obviously I'm not going to be reacting to shit because it's already happened. But I will explain the game as the game goes. Now, Dead Cells, if you haven't seen it, if you watch me on Twitch, you've probably seen me play this game. If you don't watch me on Twitch, what are you doing with your life? You should be going and following me on Twitch, because I spend way more time on Twitch than I do YouTube these days. And it's a great way for you to interact one-on-one, well, not one-on-one, but live, in real time, interact with me, and I'll talk back. I'm a nice guy. I do that. Humble brag. But yeah, you should. And but if you haven't seen Dead Cells is a 2D side-scrolling hack and slash roguelike with metroidvania and Dark Souls-esque mechanics. I know that's a lot to eat in one go, but I'll explain each little bit as we go along, or I'll try to. I might forget stuff because you know, this is post-commentary, and I've only ever done post-commentary once before, and that was back when I first started doing YouTube, so I'm not particularly great at it, but I'm gonna do my best. Anyways, if you see up there the jars I'm jumping around, those are all the different upgrades. You can upgrade and unlock a bunch of different weapons and abilities, lots of them, and this is an early access. Let me really put that out there. This is early access and it feels like a done game already. There's a lot of content to it, and it's got a lot of replay value, and it's still not finished, and I'm super excited to see where this game goes. Now, yeah, so you see all those different items that you unlocked. Normally when you start the game, you don't have any of those unlocked. You don't even get to choose the weapons that you have, like I picked up the blood sword and stuff like that. You normally start out with a rusty sword and your choice of a shitty bow or a shitty shield. But once you upgrade, start upgrading stuff, you collect things called Dead Cells, which are basically this game's souls from Dark Souls. Those are those blue orbs you see me sucking up, hoovering up. You get to spend those points at Collector, which is basically like our little fire shrine between each level, and we can unlock and upgrade different blueprints that we found throughout the levels and stuff like that. Blueprints are how you gain access to unlocking new weapons. They drop off randomly off enemies, or you can find them behind hidden doors, or you can get them from bosses. Chests aren't always like this. Unfortunately, I got unlucky. This has happened maybe 3 times to me ever since the update came out, where I've gotten a chest full of bad things and they almost kill me, which is very embarrassing since I'm on the first level, and I don't know if I've ever died on the first level before. I'm pretty sure I have when I first started playing the game, but usually there's gold and cells and sometimes items or upgrades in them. But yeah. So yeah, we're talking about the collector. You get to take those cells and you get to put into things such as my Estus flask, which you can see right to the left of my blood sword icon down there above my health bar. For the left bumper, it's mapped to the left bumper. That is your Estus flask. Basically your Estus flask, it heals you. You get 4 charges on it. You don't start with a health at all, regenerating ability at all, and you have to put points into that, and then you get 1 use out of it, and then you can put points into upgrading it to a max of 4 uses, and I've already done that, so spoilers, not spoilers. And you saw me pick up a bear trap as well. Those are abilities. They are like a secondary attack to help buff you or hurt enemies or put dots on them, DOTs, damage over times, things like that. And you can upgrade those abilities as well, to passively upgrade them by picking up Scrolls of Power, which will make them more powerful or increase their potency and decrease their cooldown times. You can grab health upgrades throughout the levels. These aren't permanent ones, by the way. These are just for that run, and you can grab strength upgrades as well for doing more weapon damage. You also saw me break open a rune a little bit ago. Those are secrets. You can only see them once you're close enough to them. They'll have money, food for health, sometimes weapons, and very rarely an upgrade, a scroll of power for either health, damage, or your abilities. Those are skills. Skills upgrade right there is a lightning bolt, strength is a fist, health is the green plus sign, you know. Or you can get the blue scroll of power, which is just a blue arrow that lets you pick one of your choosing, instead of automatically allocating one for you. Shops are great. You'll find one in every level. I'm pretty sure find one in every level. This is the only use for gold besides doors, secret gold doors that you have to open to get things. But gold is, this is one gripe about the game is gold feels very inconsequential. You can upgrade when you die in a run, you lose your gold, and then when you start the new run, you get a percentage of that gold back, and you can upgrade it to what I believe I have is 85% of gold. So I get 85% of the gold that I died with on the last run. So I constantly have just a cornucopia of gold, and it feels like I'm never running out because I never have a need to spend it on things, and it feels inconsequential. So I'm hoping that there's going to be more uses for gold other than just buying things. Yeah, that's a lot to absorb in one go already. You saw the vine up there. The vine, you get a permanent rune to actually shoot those vines up, and that becomes something. You get it in like the next level, I believe, and it gives you access to little secret areas and different places. So right now I'm going to the Promenade of the Condemned. This is the easiest route to take, and it's the first accessible route to you. Once you get the vine one, you can go to the old sewers instead, which is slightly harder, but you get better stuff, and then you can go to a different path through there on out to the first boss. So this is the collector here. This is where you can put your cells to unlocking items and upgrading the ones you have unlocked. You see the diamonds on those are how much they've been upgraded. So 50 cells to upgrade it to the second diamond to level 2. I've already upgraded all those to level 1. I've got a few at the bottom that have been upgraded to a ton, like the daggers upgraded to level 3. It goes up to a max of level 4 upgrade, and you'll see me get that later on in this run, and then it becomes grayed out because you can't upgrade it anymore. It's as strong as it can possibly get. This is where you can refill your health and your Estus, so you're not going into the next level with no health. Like each level is a fresh start. The only thing that's really going to hinder you is whether or not you've upgraded yourself enough to be able to deal with the obstacles in each coming level, and the increasingly like or if you're stupid like me and just run into spike balls. But yeah, whether or not you're going to be able to efficiently handle the stronger enemies as you go along. So yeah, there's a lot to this game, a lot of mechanics to this game, and I will show off bits of it later, and I'll try and bring it back up again later. Because I'm trying to remember what I explained where, so I can explain it in the same places again, but I'm now realizing how hard of a task that's going to be. I probably should have put like little cliff notes in the video to talk about this here. That's too much work. That's too much work, man. I can't do that shit. Yeah, spikes, obviously. I think I run into them, they'll do damage to me, so they don't outright kill you, but yeah, they hurt. So, oh, and you see the yellow bar. That's another thing. That's very Bloodborne-esque right there. When you take damage, you don't lose that damage immediately. You get a yellow bar that decreases rapidly over time. And if you manage to hit an enemy with that yellow bar there, you gain that health back. So that's nice little thing to kind of avoid having to heal yourself all the time. You can get through this without having to heal potentially a ton, but you know. So I'm over here debating, I'm pretty sure debating whether or not to take the fire grenade over the bear trap, and I'm pretty sure I do. But yeah, there's that. This fucking doing post commentary is so goddamn awkward, and I've got like what, 27 minutes of this shit that I gotta do, 30 something, 35 minutes of this shit. I hope I never have to do post commentary again. Oh, but yeah, the talking point, I was going to talk about rolling, much like Bloodborne or Dark Souls, or even something like Enter the Gungeon. Dodge rolling is going to be your main defense in this game, how you're going to avoid taking most of your damage, and I would say probably about 98% of your damage is through rolling, and knowing how to use your roll is very important. That's an elite. Let me talk about that real quick, and then I'll go back to rolling. Elite enemies are regular enemies, just super buffed. So they're stronger, they are faster, they do a hell of a lot of damage, and once you've gotten them down to about 50% health or so, they go into an enraged mode, and they start spawning adds. Little enemies, they will teleport to you, so if you try to run away, they will just teleport right next to you and start attacking you again, so they're harder to cheese as well. But killing them offers you lots of cells and usually an item of some sort that you can use, so that's kind of nice. Back to rolling, yeah, knowing how to use a roll and what you can do with your roll. I'm talking about this way before I actually talk about it in the video, so I'm going to talk about it again later, because I do show off some certain things that you can do. But you can cancel an attack with a roll, you can cancel a fall with your roll. If you ground pound, you can cancel the ground pound at the very end, so that way you don't get those few frames of stunned. You don't, like, if you take, there's no fall damage in the game, but if you fall from a great height, it stuns you. If you ground pound, there's still like a couple of frames where you can't move, but you're not stunned per se. You just have to wait like 2 or 3 frames, and it's a pretty short period of time, but you can negate it altogether by rolling at the very bottom of the dive. You can roll in mid-air as well. So you can dodge mid-air if you're in mid-jump and something's coming at you. Don't think, oh, well, I'm fucked. Just hit the roll button, you'll roll in mid-air and get through it. So those are things you need to really want to learn how to do to gain efficiency and your defense and not taking damage, basically. So I grabbed a health upgrade. You can get a lot of them. I tend to stack. How I build my character is very glass cannon-esque. I'll grab 1 or 2 health and that's it, and then I'll stack pretty much everything in damage, unless of course, you know, it's a specific upgrade that you grab. Like obviously if I grab a skills upgrade, I'm getting a skills upgrade, but if I get the option, I will prioritize strength over everything else. I used to spread them out evenly, and once I've gotten to the final boss before, I've never beaten him, but once I realized how fucked I was because my abilities weren't doing dick all to him, and he's so hard to hit with an attack because he moves around so much, that how very little damage I was doing in the attacks I was landing was just, it was laughable. It was negligible. It was such a negligible amount of damage that it would have been an actual war of attrition trying to fight that battle. So I've never beaten the boss, but I've never gotten to try to fight him with my current build yet. So that's something to think about too, is how you want to build your character when you do your runs, how you want to what you're going to use the most often. You're going to use your main attacks more often, if you're going to use your abilities more often. I used to use abilities more often because they were a great way to cheese enemies, because you could throw your abilities down there without having to go down there and face them yourself and chip away at their damage and kill them without actually putting yourself in any imminent danger. So I've used that as a way to carry me through the harder levels a lot. It's safe, but it's not efficient. So I've just been learning to deal with enemies one-on-one. There's still obviously necessary times to use abilities, and you should use them, but you should use them in conjunction with your attacking, not in place of attacking, you know, unless it is a very dire situation. But, you know, maybe that's the kind of run you want to have anyways. Maybe that's your playstyle. That's your playstyle. So you want to think about how you want to allocate your upgrades as you get them. So now this is the next place is the the ramparts, which is the only, not the only, but one of the only guaranteed levels in the game where you have to do this level. I mean, obviously the boss levels, but this level is guaranteed. This isn't an optional level. You have to, pretty sure you have to do this one before the boss. I could be wrong, actually. And now that I think about it, maybe not. Because you can do the old sewers and the toxic sewers, I think. And then the boss, or you could do the ossuary, and then the prison depths, and then the boss. So maybe this isn't. Maybe the ramparts isn't guaranteed. I might have been wrong on that, actually. So forget I said anything. I think here is where I talk about dodging more. So when he gets into that, you'll see the different things that I was talking about earlier, and I'll explain them again in shorter detail. But I do talk about, because I picked up the Nutcracker, which is the hammer. So hammer is a damage or a heavy weapon that stuns any enemy that has over, I think, 75% health. But this specific one has an extra stat on it, like weapons can have a random ability to them. This one specifically is that it does 30% more damage to enemies who are bleeding. And it just so happens that I have Knife Storm, which causes bleeding. So I'll use that first to cause bleeding, and then I'll use the Nutcracker to do the 30% extra damage. You saw earlier, because this is one of the things that is new with the elemental update. I was using my electric whip in the water, and it was electrifying the water, doing damage to anything that was in it, aside from myself. That is one of the new things in the elemental update that was just added recently. So you can electrify water with electric moves, so the electric whip or the electric bolt, anything like that. You can also do things like spread oil on the ground and immolate it, so anything that walks into it takes fire damage, catches on fire, which will stack. You can also freeze water. I think all that does, it doesn't like turn it into ice or anything, but it adds the same kind of electric thing to it. I don't know if it does damage over time or if it slows enemies that are in it, or both, because I've only seen it once or twice, but it does do something like that. So things like that. That was a time door that you saw. This game incentivizes speedrunning to a degree. So those time doors, you have to get to them within a certain time limit. You'll see me do that in this episode, actually. I'll do a speedrun at the end of the episode. But like the first door you need to get to within 3 minutes and 15 seconds of the game. The time pauses between levels, so when you're at the collector, time doesn't pass. So you have to worry about that. You can still spend time in deciding on what you want to get. Oh, so here's what I'm talking about, rolling. So I can cancel rolls, I can roll in the air, I can cancel attacks with rolls, so something to look forward to if you decide to play the game. But yeah, so the first door you have to get within 3 minutes and 15 seconds. The door here you have to get within 6 minutes, I believe. And then there's a door after the first boss that you have to get to within 10 or 11 minutes. I'm not sure how much time. And they always have gold in them. They always have cells in them. Sometimes they'll even have blueprints to rare weapons in them as well. So broadsword is a garbage item. I think so anyways. This one specifically has plus strength, so it gives me extra strength, and that's why I took it, other than the fact that it is 2 levels higher than the weapon that I had. But it's such a slow weapon that I don't really actually know how to deal with it. It's such a pain in the dick, it really is. So I tend to never take. I thought it was gonna be a cool fucking item, because it's a new item. It was added in the elemental update. I thought it was going to be awesome, and I can't. I wanted to like it so bad because it does a lot of damage, but it's too slow. Too slow for me, anyways. I can't deal with it. Yeah, so I think we're getting pretty close to the speedrun bit. Not to spoil the video before you get to the part, but yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about speedrunning tactics. You see these teleporters, you're going to want to use those a lot if you efficiently want to move around. And you're going to see me use them a lot when I do my speedrun bit of the game. I keep saying it's a speedrun. I mean, technically, in essence, it is. It's just not. But when I think of speedrunners, I think of, you know, people like Rom Scout and and shit like and PJ who are actual tryhacks who actually do like the actual speedruns. Me, it's just playing the game slightly faster than I usually do. Here's something I didn't want to do in the video, but you can find runes on the ground that take you to challenge areas. One hit and the challenge is over. I don't have the loadout for this. So you have to kill all enemies and make it to the end within a certain amount of time without getting hit, and I got hit immediately, so. And they're a pain in the ass. I've only completed one once ever out of the 27 hours I have in this game. I've only completed one once. It just gives you a ton of cells and I think an item. I'm pretty sure the payout is random. It's just like getting a chest. It's just higher, nicer payouts. There you go. I died real hard. I got juggled real hard. But don't worry, because I'm going to do an extra bit of the run. This is where I start speedrunning the game, so you guys can see the time doors and stuff like that. Now, this is why I was so pissed, and why I was so pissed that the video was fucked up again, other than I've already done this 5 or 6 times trying to do this first episode, but because I actually decided to do a speed run and it turned out well. Unintentionally, all I wanted to do was get to the first door to show you the time doors. So what you're gonna see me do is not deal with a lot of the enemies, but I'm gonna pick up important things along the way, because even though I'm speedrunning and I'm gonna be dodging most enemies, you still have to fight. Like, if you're gonna speedrun the game, you still have to fight the boss, so you're still gonna want your upgrades, you're gonna still want abilities and better weapons than what you previously had, so you gotta kind of balance your way through finding those and picking them up, but also hurrying through the level at the same time. So you're gonna see me pick up immediately and upgrade to my rapier. Rapier is a nice quick weapon, and it works in conjunction with a roll, so if you attack immediately after rolling, it's an automatic crit. So it's nice to have. The throwing knives are just a really fast weapon. It auto aims, you get a lot of ammo for it, and it causes bleed, which helps deal with enemies efficiently, so it's just nice to have. So I know where I see that vine area, so I automatically already know that that's where the old sewer is, and I don't want to go to the old sewer. I want to go to the promenade because that's the easiest door to find for a time door to show it off. Otherwise, you could do it. There are time doors in the sewers as well. I don't think not all levels have time doors, but most of them do. I don't think there's a time door in the Fog Fjord. Things like that. I don't know if there's, I don't even think there's one in the graveyard, but I'm pretty sure like the prison depths, the ossuary, I think they all have time doors. Both sewers might have time doors, I'm not entirely sure. I don't speedrun in those directions very often. But yeah, so you want to balance out getting through things fast, picking up health upgrades, especially pretty important in speedruns because you're going to get hit. A lot of times it's unavoidable that you're going to get hit, especially against certain enemies that teleport towards you. So they're hard to run away. It's either kill them or just really be careful about dodging them. And you're going to see that here, because this is the first level that you see the white guys that teleport. White guys. The white people, the Caucasians that teleport to you. And unfortunately, I'd never seen as many as I saw at the very beginning of this. Immediately 3 of them. And I get 2, no, I only catch the 1 so far, but I'm pretty sure I end up with 2 of them on me. Normally they aren't that thick. That's a curse chest. I'll talk about that real quick while I'm speedrunning here. Curse chests are like regular chests. They have a nice little payout usually, but the caveat is that you get cursed, and curse means if you get hit even once, you die automatically. Even if you have the heart that I have that brings you back, you're just dead. It'll put a number over your head, and that number means that's how many enemies you have to kill to lift the curse. And usually, well, always for curse chests, it's 10 enemies. So you have to kill 10 enemies to lift the curse. Getting hit once causes you die. So I made it through the time door with 51 seconds or something like that to spare. There is a blueprint in this specific one, but I already got it. I don't remember what the blueprint even was. So now it's just gold and cells. Wait, was it 51 seconds? So I made it with 51 seconds to spare. So I did what I was going to do, what I meant to do for this run, but I'm still going. I guess because I was just in the mood. I was like, oh, well, we did that real well. Let's try and do the rest of it real well. So here is now my new plan, is to try and get to the timed door, which is after the first boss, which means you have to get through all 3 levels before the boss, and then get to the boss and beat the boss within 10 or 11 minutes. I'm not specifically, I can't exactly remember. I've never done it previously. Every attempt that I've ever done, I've gotten within seconds of doing it. God, there's just so many teleporting guys. I don't remember what they're called. There's a bestiary in the game that tells you the names of the enemies, but I've long since forgotten. So on to the ramparts. So the ramparts, to get to the time door in the ramparts, you have to get there within 6 minutes. I don't go for the time door in this one because it's a lot harder to find, and I don't want to waste time trying to get to the boss in time. So you're gonna see me rolling through most enemies. The door to the next level in this game is in this level. The door to the next level in this level is exceedingly hard to find because it's underground and it could be in any underground spot. So you have to explore all the way underground to find it, and if you can't, you have to go all the way back up. You can teleport back up. There's teleporters in every underground bit, but you have to teleport back up and go to the next one, so it's real easy to waste time. And if you're not comfortable with fighting the boss quickly, it's going to be tough. You need to really know and understand the boss patterns to get through it as quickly as you need to get to that door. But at the point that you're going to be doing speedrunnings, speedrunnings? Cool runnings, man. Wasn't fucking... Okay. That wasn't the Jamaican bobsled team at all. That was weird. That was like the Chav bobsled team. The point at which you're going to be wanting to do speed runs is probably after the point in which you've already played several runs of this, so you already know the different paths. You already know the boss. You've already beaten the boss several times. You already know his patterns and shit like that. So you're going to be basically familiar and comfortable with the game at that point, probably. And hopefully some of the I know I've been talking fast a lot, so if you didn't catch everything that I say, I'm really sorry. It's really hard for me to do post commentary when I'm not used to doing post commentary, especially off the cuff post commentary. Like, I don't have anything written for this, so I'm just kind of trying to react to everything that I've done and trying to remember everything that I said and re-say them again, and it's a little different for me. But and so I'm talking fast because I'm trying to get the point out within the time that I'm doing a certain something, and then be able to talk about the next thing as I come to it. So if you miss some of the things that I say, I'm sorry. You can ask questions in the comments, and I'll try to get to them and answer them there. Or if you come to my live streams, I do explain things during my live streams some more, and I do actively participate with viewers during my live streams as well. Also, we have a jukebox, a sweet ass jukebox, so you can listen to music. So, and that's always a fun time. So here is where I was talking about. It's always a good idea to. There's always a place for your abilities. Even if you aren't planning on relying on them for cheese factor like I have in the past. They're great for crowd control, and I think they should be utilized for crowd control, and they should be utilized in conjunction with your main attack. And that was a good instance of when that was a great time to be using your abilities, being swarmed by things, and you have a fire grenade which hits an area of effect and does DOT to the enemies, which can really burn down smaller enemies. So I'm trying to avoid fighting too much because it's going to waste time. So I'm trying to roll through enemies, but if you're not good at rolling and dodging through enemies, it could take more time trying to dodge through the enemies than it would be to just kill them outright. So I want to go back and get that skills upgrade, because those are going to be necessary. I'm going to be needing to use my skills for the boss fight, so it's very much necessary to have. still, oh yeah, this is, all right. Like I'm forgetting like how close to death I've been getting throughout this level, and now I'm clenching my butthole again. I already know what's gonna happen, but I'm still like, oh, don't die. But yeah. So here we found this is the elevator to the next level, and the next level is the boss. This is the Black Bridge. Is the name of the level. The boss is the incomplete one. But so we're looking at our timer. We are at 7 minutes and 24 seconds. I think that's what that says. The screen that I'm looking at to watch this is very small, but I think it's somewhere around there. Oh, there we go. We maxed out our twin daggers. We can't upgrade that anymore. It's up to level 4, so it does an extra 20% damage comparatively. And so that is a maxed out weapon, and we're gonna do the rapier now as well. But yeah, so seven some odd minutes. So I have about 3.5 minutes, give or take, to beat the boss. And I'm doing this having after sped through it, so I only have 1 ability. I do have 4 strength, but I'm still using only a level 2 weapon, which is gonna be tough to do. And it's not the strongest weapon in the world. You're gonna get like 1 good crit out of it. This is mostly chip damage. It's not like high-end burst damage or anything. So I'm saving my my ranged weapon because it does have ammo, and you're not going to get that ammo back until you've beaten the enemy. I was kind of saving that for hitting him when he has his shield on him, or that red aura. That red aura, if you're inside of it, you do damage. Not that one. That's his shield. But the that one, if you're inside that one, you will take damage, and you'll see me take damage to it quite a bit in this. So I was trying to save my ranged weapon so I could still do damage to him from afar when he does that, and I can't get close to him. So, but now that I'm out of ammo, I'm gonna have to rely on doing fire attacks. I actually got really lucky in this fight, having had the heart to bring me back to life, because otherwise this would have been a doomed run. So now that you're seeing new attacks by him, he's got new patterns. He's going to do a fire, then he's going to do a lunge once he gets down to that bit of health. So you're going to want to learn those patterns and know when you cannot get in for an attack. That was a bad time. I can't believe I must have overhealed, and so I didn't lose any actual health during the first part of that. I'm getting really close, but I'm also taking a lot of damage, and there's my first death. But luckily I had the heart to bring me back to life. I still have health, plenty of health in my thing, but at this point I'm just trying to burn him down because I'm so close. And what are we at? We're at 9 minutes and some odd seconds. We beat him in time, but the timer's still going. So pick up everything. He does drop patterns, but I've already blueprints, but I've already gotten them. So after the boss, here is the timed door. We made it with 1 minute and 12 seconds to spare, which is the fastest I've ever done it. And we got the Ivy Grenade blueprint. So this is the first, I was so excited, and that's why I couldn't get rid of this and why I had to do post commentary, because it was the first time I had actually been able to do this. First time I've made it to that door in time and get the blueprint, and I was just so excited. So I couldn't not do this episode. So you get to see it in action too. So this is, I have it unlocked, but I don't have it unlocked for use. I just had the pattern. I'll put in the 20 points. Now it's unlocked. Now it will show up. He'll actually, when you unlock a weapon, he gives you that weapon immediately. So yeah, basically what it does is it immobilizes enemies and then does damage over time to them while they're immobilized. I had never seen this. I've watched a lot of people. I watch a lot of people play this game, and I've not seen anyone use this grenade yet. So this is my first time seeing it, first time using it. So I was pretty excited for that. So we're gonna show it off here in the Fog Fjord, which was kind of not really great against this enemy because I'm going to be in his face the whole time. So it's not like he would be moving anyways, but he did take damage over time from it. So yeah, that was the exciting bit for me, and the rest of this is just me. I'm not trying to speedrun anymore. I'm still riding that high from getting the time door and having a successful speedrun. So at this point I'm shaky, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I don't care if I die at this point. I did what I came to do, and I did it spectacularly. So Yeah, so we're seeing new enemies here in the Fog Fjord. This is the first actually really hard level in the game. Even no matter what path you take, this level is this is the only mandatory level, I think, besides the first level. You have to do this level. It is always a level you get after the first boss, and it is the first hard level. Even if you take the easy path, this is the first hard level that you have to do. It's not the hardest level in the game. If you take the hard path, which is like the ossuary or the sewer, actually it's not harder than the sewers, or it is harder than this. This is harder than the sewers, I think. But the ossuary is definitely harder. The prison depths is definitely harder than this place. Shovel. This is a fantastic weapon. Even though it's slow, it does a ton of damage. It's a nod to Shovel Knight, and it's got a nice little effect where, you know, the grenades that the purple zombies, the grenadier zombies, shoot at you, you can actually hit those grenades back at them. Anytime you hit a grenade or any kind of explosive, it becomes your explosive and doesn't do damage to you, but will do damage to the enemies. So it's kind of a neat little side effect. It's not one that I utilize or get to utilize very often, but when it does happen, it's fantastic. So, and this is also one of the first levels where you get to go in and out of doors, which is kind of it makes the level different from the other levels. It kind of breaks it up, so it's not always the same type of thing every level. You know, it's not point A to point B in a straight line. You have to go in and out of doors. In fact, the exit to this level is always through one of those doors. So you have to go through these and look through them, and there's an upper level to the level, and here's where I die. Yeah. There's an upper level to this level that you have to go through a door to get to also, so that's kind of nice. Anyways, so yeah, that's it for this run. Sorry for the post commentary. Sorry that I talk really fast and that the commentary is really disjointed, but I really wanted to show you guys the awesome speed run to the boss, because that was the first time I've ever successfully done it, and I was really excited about it, and I was really pissed that it didn't happen. But anyways, if you guys liked the video, let me know by liking the video and leave a comment, because I always enjoy reading them. And until next time, guys, I will see you later. Peace.